Hi, my name is Kristina Albom. I work for Atlas Copco in Sweden. And I'm sitting here today with a student from Stockholm School of Economics. His name is Alexander Norrman. And he's going to tell us about a very interesting project that he's been part of in Brazil. Hi, Alexander. Welcome.
Thank you.
Maybe you can start by telling us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. So, as I said, my name is Alexander Norrman, and I am a current student at Stockholm School of Economics, which is one of the, if not the leading business school here in Sweden, in Stockholm. And we have a bachelor program and several master programs. And we focus only on business, so that's why it's become one of the elite schools here in Sweden in that area of business.
And can you tell me a little bit about this project that you've been involved with?
Yeah, it's called Focus CSR. And it's
CSR? What does it mean?
It's about corporate social responsibility, and that means the action that companies take within the society to make it better. And how it works is that we select a focal market and a bunch of companies that we work together with. And this year, for the first time, we had the opportunity to work with Atlas Copco, which we really enjoyed. And we had the opportunity to go to Brazil, which is my home country. And I'm born in Brazil and fluent in Brazil. So for me, this project speaks really close and dear to my heart. So we went there for 2 weeks and did some field studies. And there we had the opportunity to work, as I said, with you, Atlas Copco. But previously to that, we also had a week dedicated to CSR at our school, where we had presentations from companies, we had panel debates, we were visited by Her Majesty the Queen Sylvia, who inaugurated the project, which was really interesting and also humbling. So it's been a really interesting year now with this project.
Is this the first time a field study like this has occurred?
Yeah, it is. We saw this year an opportunity with Atlas Copco to do something different from the other years and take the project to another level, as we like to call it. So once in Brazil, we worked together with the local office of Atlas Copco and also Dynapac. So there were 2 different projects, missions, if you put it like that we looked into down there. And after 3 days together with Atlas Copco, we met up together with some of their employees like Claes Backlund and Alessandra, and we discussed what we had seen, what we thought, our reflections about it. So it was a really new approach, an interesting approach to this project that's now been going on for 4 years at Stockholm School of Economics.
Can you tell me a little bit about the projects?
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, there were 2 projects. The first one that I myself took part in was in Barueri at the Atlas Copco's office in São Paulo, Brazil. We had the opportunity to go out and see an after-school program in the close-by community that was founded exclusively by Atlas Copco. So there they shared the knowledge, the management knowledge, to this group and helped them to support then this after-school activities for underprivileged kids in the community. And it was a really neat project. So it was partly funded by the employees themselves, and they came up with this initiative and also chose this program, which was an after-school program which spoke near and dear to their hearts. So now I think it's about 20%, 15% that is funded by the employees and the rest by Atlas Copco. And they have a committee within the employees of Atlas Copco, and now they help it for a 2-year period. And then they have another project that they help another 2 years. And so it goes on until today, where they have this current project that we had the opportunity to meet.
So it must come handy that you can speak Portuguese then?
Absolutely. It was a pleasure to both speak to the employees at Atlas Copco, but also the kids at this project. That was really interesting, and we took away some really interesting learnings from it, because here in Sweden, we would think that such an approach to CSR, which locally founded after-school program, that would be more towards philanthropy, which would be given money to fund a project or something that is not really connected to your core business. But for us, that was an awakening to see that that could actually be part of CSR, because it filled a very important function within the Brazilian community, because there were lacks within the infrastructure, as education is, from governmental side. And then to see that a local business as Atlas Copco could fill that void was really impressive and learningful.
So that was one project, and then you had another project at Dynapac. Can you tell me a little bit about that too?
Yeah, we also went to Dynapac in Sorocaba and to one of their suppliers. So we had to look into more about their lean processes and supplier management and see how they work with that. And what we came to see, which was really interesting, was how closely they work together with their suppliers. Instead of really only looking into the price cutting and see how they can be more efficient that way, they turned it and saw how can we work most efficiently with our suppliers and thereby get advantages. And we saw some examples of that. For example, the way they delivered products to Sorocaba and to Dynapac. They had personally made iron structures to hold the products while shipping it to Sorocaba. And they were reused over and over again, but since they were personalized, they were also safer for product, and you could also ship more because they took less space. So that was a win-win situation for both Dynapac but also for the supplier. And with those solutions, it helps both companies, and it was interesting to see that they put those thoughts and those processes into actions.
So what did your team think? Did you come up with a lot of suggestions or reflections around this that you could provide to Atlas Copco?
I mean, in some sense, I think, of course, we were new to the different projects and came in with an open mind. So, I mean, there were some points, but I also think that both Atlas Copco and Dynapac were very proactive in their approach of conducting business. So I think what we saw was more a need of implementing rather than opening your eyes towards the problems or the opportunities, because they saw it. Now it's just a way of conducting these implemented changes the best way suitable for them. And I think they still have a way to go, but I mean, if they didn't, they wouldn't have a way to improve, and that is what every company needs to do, is find ways to improve. So I think that was really good to see. But also from the project in Barueri, we had some discussions about how philanthropy can be part of CSR, as I said, but also how maybe they could connect these social projects more towards their core business, like, for example, the Water for All, which they were thinking about implementing, and if that would be a more suitable solution for Atlas Copco's involvement in society.
I also heard that while you were in Brazil, you had the opportunity to visit the United Nations conference Rio Plus 20.
Yeah, that was a really interesting part of our trip as well. We had 3 interesting days with different panel debates with Hu Jintao, Ban Ki-moon, and several others. So that was also really interesting. But actually a funny incident or happening occurred. We got to know that the French new president, Hollande, was close by, so we thought maybe we should go and listen to it. That would be a funny history to take back and tell our peers here in Sweden. But when we came there, we were actually so fortunate that he came up to us and actually greeted us in person. And afterwards, people came up to us and started asking, like, wait a minute, who are you? Like, the French president shook your hand? So, I mean, either I'm lucky or I'm something I don't know I am. But I suppose it's the first one.
So, finally, where do you see yourself in the future? And is sustainability and these kinds of questions, is that going to be relevant in your future career, you think?
Absolutely. I think sustainability is something that's relevant in every business. And business is something that I want to know more about and be part of in my professional career. As I said, I study at a business and economics school, so that is my interest, and hopefully 1 year or in the future I can see myself work with these questions on a management position, with finance or with corporate finance questions. So that is something that I want to work with, but also with my background, that living both in the United States, having 3 native language more or less, I also want to work globally. I don't want to say that the world is my playground, but that's how at least I envision it when I see my future career.
Thank you very much, Alexander. It was a pleasure to hear about this project. It was very interesting.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And I wish you the best of luck in the future.
Thank you.